6:30. Let's get rolling. This is the City of Brainerd Safety and Public Works Committee. Everybody's here. As soon as we get rid of Mr. Sheeler, we can get some work done. Item no. Oh, anything we need to add, Mr. Engineer?
No.
All right, that's what we like. Item number 1, the transit bus purchase. This is a attached resolution, 8-15 to adopt. Oh, no. That was the one we did adopt, and so now we're just looking at recommending the council adopt the resolution authorizing the purchase of the 500 series bus from North Central Bus for approximately $138,046. Anything you need to add, Mr. Engineer?
Nothing.
Is there a motion to forward this to the council for adoption? So moved. Hilgard, second by Markenhagen. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. All right, that motion carries. Item number 2 is getting rid of the old bus, which is the old 300 series bus that we can't even scavenge for parts, right?
That's correct. Nothing's compatible.
Okay. Is there anything that we need to hear more about this one?
No, we're hopeful that we'll actually get a pretty good dollar amount for that. It's a relatively low mileage vehicle, but it's just kind of obsolete.
And this is the one that came from Pine River?
Pine River, correct.
Okay. Any questions? No. Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Motion by Borkenhagen, second by Hilgard to dispose of the 2004 Class 300 bus by sealed bids, being returnable 12 noon on Friday the 29th. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 3, the Safe Route to School funding, and we are looking for. What are we looking for, Mr. Engineer?
At this point, this is just for informational purposes. Just to officially inform the council that we were selected for TAP funding for 2019 for the extension of additional sidewalks up in the Garfield school area and a couple blocks of sidewalk in the Lowell school area.
What was the total amount that we got?
We got, I think it's $280,000 in federal funds.
Okay, and this project will be for 2019?
Correct.
Okay. All right. Any questions for the engineer on the Safe Route to School funding? Item 4, that is improvement 1306, 28th Street, award of bids, and we did get our bids in, Mr. Engineer. Anything you want to highlight on here?
We were very happy to see 4 bids on the project, and thought they were fairly competitive. This year we received a bid from Landwehr Construction, which is the first time in years that they've bid one of our projects, but we were happy to see that. The bids, low bid was from Borden Excavating in the amount of $487,704. That compares to our engineer's estimate of about $493,000. So it did come in a little bit under estimate, and staff is recommending adopting a resolution to accept that bid.
I would so move.
Second.
All right, we got a motion by Borkenhagen, second by Hilgard. I have a question, and I'm not this maybe isn't fair because we're right here with a motion and a second on the bid. But we've got 2 bidders, very close local bidders, both under engineer's estimate.
Yep.
I'm very familiar with one, and I'm very confident with it. The one that's on the motion, I don't know who they are.
Borden?
Have we used them for
Yes.
other stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they've done a couple of projects for us.
Okay.
So,
Successfully,
yes.
obviously.
Yeah, the South 6th Street frontage road a few years back.
Okay.
And there was some other street grading projects that they did for us. So,
Okay.
yeah, so we're comfortable with them.
All right. I just thought, I figured now would be the time if you weren't, you would let us know. But I wasn't familiar. Yeah, Chip.
May I ask?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you were not comfortable with a bidder on anything, would you say so, or do we need to always ask?
Well, I think we would say so. The in a situation like this, it's very difficult since we're dealing with special assessments. The 429 process really does require us to take the lowest responsive bid, and I would say that all the bidders were responsive. From time to time, we can not accept the low bid if it comes from a contractor that we either through experience or have some specific knowledge of their inability to satisfactorily complete the contract. So if we've had a bad experience with one, then I think we could have a case to not accept the low bid.
Any further questions? And I certainly wasn't meaning to suggest anything on these bidders at all, but we have had circumstances in the last 3 or 4 council meetings where we've had a contractor that we've struggled with. So that's why I bring that up, is because it's possible someday that we may have an issue, such as what I'm suggesting. And I would sure would be something to be able to handle it prior to the bid. So, okay, hearing no further discussion, all in favor of awarding the low bid on the this is the 28th Street project between Oak and Trunk Highway 25 to Borden Excavating for $487,704, 1.1% under engineer's estimate. All say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 5 is improvement 13-6-28, also 28th Street construction. It's a materials testing proposal from Braun Intertech, correct?
Yes.
In the amount of,
We're estimating that to be in the amount of $6,204.
okay,
And that's going to be for compaction testing and sampling and testing of our concrete,
Concrete.
bituminous, and base materials.
perfect. Any questions for the engineer? I have one, Mr. Engineer. Are we still, in the past, we have with this company bid things like, I don't know if it was a year or a 3-year contract or something, and we got a better deal with them. Are we
Right.
still under that?
We're still under that kind of an arrangement where they give us, I think it's a 10 or 15% discount to their normal building rates.
I didn't know if Sewer Chip knew that. Is this an actual contract?
No, it's really loose now.
Okay.
So, I mean, we had a time-specific contract, and then time has just gone on, but they still extend those rates to us.
And they seem to do a good job for us?
Excellent
Okay.
job.
All right, is there a motion to approve Braun Intertech to do the materials testing on 28th Street for an approximate amount of $6,204?
So moved.
Motion by Hilgard, second by Borkenhagen. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 7 is the improvement 15-02. That's the 2016. Oop, did I skip one? Yes, I apologize. Improvement 501, College Drive reconstruction, change order number 4. This is on that cabling, isn't that, Mr. Engineer?
No, I don't know how this landscaping got in the description here. This is actually for fencing material that was furnished and installed, and there were 2 components of the fencing materials, the hog rings and the post caps, that we sent to the MnDOT lab, and they did not test out properly. So they did not meet spec. The contractor could not find products that did meet spec, so MnDOT recommended that we just simply not pay them for the value of those particular items. So this change order is a total deduct in the amount of $2,418.25 for furnishing and installing materials that did not meet our specifications.
And Mr. Borkenhagen.
So we're deducting this from what we're going to pay them?
Right.
We haven't paid them for this project? This is 2 years old.
It's 2 years old. Within the new MnDOT spec, landscaping, which the fence is a part of, it has a 2-year warranty. So and according to the spec, over the 2 years, we pay for a little bit more of it. Now we're getting the end of the 2-year warranty is this week. So we did the change order to establish the fair price for the fence, and we make the final payment of retainage for the landscaping items.
So we still have a retainage in an amount greater than
Yes.
this change order?
Yes.
Okay, any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to have the council approve change order number 4 as presented?
So
Motion by Borkenhagen,
Second.
second by Hilgard. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 7, improvement 1502, 2016 seal coat, Fairview Road, which Thank goodness you have the description in here. I would have never guessed where this was. It's the frontage road in front of Burger King. Any further, anything you want to add, Mr. Engineer?
No, just that Baxter is chip sealing their section of the road, which is about half of it, and it would just make sense to chip seal it both at the have ours chip sealed at the same time. So we would recommend that we participate in their contract with the county.
Okay, so this doesn't come out. This can't come out of. This doesn't come out of our seal coating budget.
The seal coating is coming out of our construction fund, so
Yes.
we would just assign this cost to our 1502, which is our chip seal project this year. So we would end up with two payments to contractor, one to Aztec, who's got our contract, and then one in the approximate amount of $1,500 or so. That would be a reimbursement to the city of Baxter.
Got it. So okay, so City of Baxter is going to pay for it, and then we're paying them back.
Correct.
Will this put our chip seal over budget by $1,500?
No, we didn't really have a set budget for the chip seal.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm not sure that's a good thing.
No.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve improvement number 1502?
So moved.
Motion by Morkenhagen, second by Hilgard. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next is a return to improvement 1409 Delwood Drive. We did get some information. We're not goofing around, Mr. Engineer.
I completely guess our
It's a new
Time's
sheriff in
correctly.
town here. His name is Chip Morkenhagen, and he moves things right along. We'll have a 45-minute discussion on something that we're not going to make. Someday. This is a return to what we talked about 2 weeks ago, which is the project where we're covering roughly a quarter of it.
yes,
Yeah, and the county
25%.
does a quarter of it, and Baxter gets a
half of it. Yes.
You have some assessment numbers for us from how everybody else is handling that. Why don't you fill us in?
Yep. Okay. At the last meeting, we talked a little bit about a couple of unknowns. One was first off wetlands. Last or 2 weeks ago, we made, or at least I made some comments that I thought that a substantial amount of that frontage on Delwood was considered wetland. And I stand corrected on that. And looking at the National Wetland Inventory maps, it appears that the frontage is dry. There are some isolated wetlands in the area, but for the most part, everything looks like it's developable adjacent to Delwood. The other item was the potential assessments that the city of Baxter might levy against parcels in the city of Baxter. And their policy is to assess for the cost of what would be a full-depth reclamation. And they do have a project that they're considering for this year that is over on Inglewood, and it is a full-depth reclamation. With that project, they're estimating their assessments at $27 a front foot pursuant to their policy. So, that's essentially the same scope for the project, so we would expect that same assessment rate being proposed for the Delwood Drive project. They're looking at that, following our policy. Essentially, it's to assess one half of the cost on a reconstruction or resurfacing. And in this case, since we got the LRIP money to offset a lot of our cost, we do have a reduced cost for the project. That results in a estimated assessment rate of about $12 per foot. Just looking at the three parcels that are in the city of Brainerd and the fact that the adjacent properties are dry, that they could be subdivided and developed. It just seems to staff that a more equitable way of distributing the assessments would be on a front footage basis versus on a per parcel basis.
Any further discussion? Is there a motion to approve the engineer's recommendation of approximately or about $12 per assessment for front footage for the assessment of the Delwood Drive project?
On a per foot.
Yeah, on a per
frontage.
foot basis.
So moved.
Is there a second?
It's, and that's what comes to 17.8?
No, it's roughly $12 a square foot. Per foot. Per linear foot.
Okay.
Right,
Yes,
Mr. Engineer?
about $12 $12 per foot. Just too, in terms of process, we want to get this information to the county who's negotiating some easements, roadway easements for the project. We are going to have to go through the 429 process next year when we actually get closer to doing the project. So that would involve a public hearing. We would have to mail notices to the property owners with the proposed assessment amounts and kind of follow that process to order in the improvement and eventually levy the specials.
The $17,890 chip, that is the assessable amount, correct, Mr. Engineer? Brainerd's case, the local share of construction costs is it's
That was my question.
yeah, right. I see where you got that number. You actually have to
Yes.
get to
Okay.
that's
Yes, that
roughly
was-
the total amount of the assessment
Yes.
on the three properties.
On the 3, yes. Mhm.
Yep. Okay, so
Second.
yeah. All right then. Now, any further discussion? Just a note that I did talk to the one property owner, Mr. Todd Walling, who did mention that there was a second issue, and I just want to go on record as saying I expect we'll hear about it, and it was regarding the additional width of the roadway was, he felt, to go put it a little closer to his house. Without anything other than discussion, it's hard to see where that would be or anything. But I suspect that could be an issue. That was the second part of the question.
If I can, I don't think we've got an answer for that yet. The
No.
county hasn't completed the design work, so
Right.
they haven't staked it. So at this point, I don't think we even have any layouts that show exactly what that encroachment might look like.
Understood, just wanted to put it on record that he did mention there was a second issue. Any further discussion? Yeah.
If I
Mr.
can do a clarification also on that 17,890, that would be the local share, or Brainerd's share of the construction cost. In addition to that, the county would bill us 18% of the total cost in engineering services, which would be an additional 12,880 roughly. So that's going to put our total Brainerd cost at about 30,770, and we would then by policy be assessing one half of that, or about 15,000.
Okay, so the 17,890 chip is the construction.
Okay.
The 12,880 is engineering. Total project cost is 30,770, and we assess half of it, roughly
Yep.
15,000. What was the LRIP part of it? How much is that? That's
That was,
it says fund approximately 75% of the entire project.
right. So, the
214,000 was the.
690 was the other.
let's see, I don't know if I've got the county's calculations here.
Yeah, that would be about.
Yeah, about 75,000 would be.
I think that sounds about right, that there was about
what we
75,000
get
roughly
out
in
of it,
LRIP
yeah.
money that was offsetting our cost.
Ooh, so that's a very good deal. All right, well, we got a motion and a second. Any further questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Improvement 1408, which is the 13th Street Southeast bike lanes. You've got a pretty self-explanatory memo in here. Do you have anything you'd like to add to it?
No, not really. I think we just took a good look at the issues related to the way the county is proposing to do the improvement. They're not proposing a reconstruction, but rather it's more of an overlay to increase the structural capacity. And just in looking at bike lanes, it's shifting the crown, shifting the center line, and just creating some problems with either adding additional costs that's unnecessary, or just creating other problems with the cross slopes on the road. So, we looked at it in some detail and just felt that that this probably isn't the right time to consider the bike lanes on that road.
Okay. Any further discussion?
It's just frustrating sometimes how something seemingly so simple
Has to just be right.
becomes so complex. I would really like to have seen a connection to Willow Street.
See, in this instance, I am less concerned, only because of the one that's 5 blocks away, Spurline Trail. So, and I use the Spurline Trail all the time to get down the hills. Now, I think we probably are looking at a connection to the Cuyuna Trail going along Washington, heading east somewhere in the future. I had actually kind of hoped that would go with the underground sewer, but it doesn't look like that's a possibility. Well, I thought, because I mean, we always thought as one of the routes for the underground sewer would be in the road right away for 210, where it looks like it's probably going to go more back along the Mississippi. Not probably, I think definitively.
The trail, the Cuyuna Trail, I think right now the DNR still has, they haven't really locked into any particular alignment on that.
No, but we've talked often about the south side of Washington Street along the most hated fence line,
Right,
and
right.
disputed fence line of Burlington. So, as one way to eliminate that fence and put the trail in and connect somewhere on the east. I think there's certainly, what Chip says, room for an east-west south of that. I don't know. Oak Street corridor.
Oak Street probably isn't the corridor
would
with the
say
traffic
no.
volume.
Yeah. It's hard to put them on these busy streets that are curb to curb, wall to wall. We talked about South 6th Street. You know, where was our planner in 1926? Any further discussion on the bike lanes?
It was the planner back in 1870 that really messed it up. Building a town where a railroad crosses a river, bad idea.
Right. Any further discussion? The engineer's recommendation, staff is recommending that the council, that we recommend to the county to proceed with the project development as originally proposed. This is with 2 driving lanes, 2 parking lanes, and unfortunately, I think no bike. It's certainly something we can consider more if you want to.
I don't know how it's done.
I don't know how we could either, but I want to believe.
It's the rock and hard place.
Well, on this particular one, it is. Especially with, if we were digging the whole thing up.
That would make it a lot easier.
Way
If it was a
easier.
reconstruct.
So is there a motion to approve staff's recommendation?
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, same sign, motion carries. Finally, the garage sale signs, Mr. Osgard, you're still here?
I'm
Thank
still here. You were going so fast that I thought I could get through all this agenda and then get downstairs. So,
Sue and I have to carry Chip a little bit because he's still carrying a little bit of last year's baggage, but we're doing okay with it. We slow it down for him once in a while.
this is an informational item to let you know that, remind the council that garage sale placement, sign placement around the community, as I've identified in the photos in this packet, is illegal. I wanted to have this on the agenda tonight, number one, to let the council and the public know that we will be picking up illegal garage sale signs if they are in violation of the zoning ordinance. And I wanted this to kind of be a community notification tonight. So this is really it's just an informational item, unless there's a hue and cry from the council not to do it.
Any hue and cry? Thank you, Mr. Osgard, I'm sure we will have at least a couple of complaints. I can't imagine. Okay, if there's nothing else, Mr. Engineer, we'll take
Nothing else.
36 minutes and be back at 7.